Hey, we are back with our weekly Ants Team live training. My name is Georgiana Haynes. Hopefully you knew that already because you're on the wall watching, duh. But in case you didn't, I'm Georgiana Haynes and we are doing our Tuesday night weekly Ants Team live training. So take a moment, get yourself settled in, get your coffee, ready, set, go. And start with your wins for the week. Start celebrating the things that you have accomplished for this past week and the things that you were celebrating for yourself and your business. We do this every week, and it's a nice way for us to be conscious of the things that we are accomplishing. A lot of times when you're in business, especially for yourself, you just sort of forget how what you're doing towards your business, what you're doing to get yourself closer to your goals, and you just get sort of bogged down in the things that you're doing for your business. So I like these weekly I hate to say check-ins, but these weekly calls where you get to connect with others. I should say weekly connections. It's your chance to connect with other representatives and other business entrepreneurs, and just sort of track how you're doing and celebrate your wins, your achievements, your successes, anything that you've done for your business that you accomplished that is an accomplishment for you. And as I always say, there's no accomplishment too small. Everything, if you've done it and you've gotten to check it off of your to-do list and it's something that you're celebrating, then it's something that you want to share here. So I am going to see who we have on the stream so far. Hi Jill, welcome to the live stream. Matey, Deborah, hey Kathleen, how are you? And Miss Milagros, how you doing? So hopefully we are going to have a really great call tonight with a lot of you on celebrating your wins and your achievements. So much is happening, and we are all just super excited about all the things that are happening. We've got brand new product launches in our business. I'm still seeing President's Recognition Program tributes going on around the country, so I know people are still celebrating, which is awesome. We have people who are building their teams, building their businesses, and celebrating their successes. I love coming on here every week and hearing about the things that you guys are doing to build your businesses, because I love, first of all, I love to celebrate with you guys. It's weird. I haven't met a lot of you in person, but I still feel like you guys are sort of like family, and I'm looking forward to events like Breakfast and the Bahamas, where I'm going to get to meet a lot of you in person, so that's exciting. I'm also, just because when you're in a business, sometimes it's easy to get bogged down by things that are happening immediately around you, and to put yourself in certain mindsets that may not be the most positive for you. So it's great when you see other people who are overcoming their obstacles and overcoming any roadblocks that might be in their way in order to have growth in their business. And for me, that's one of the things I love about events where you get to connect. We have our live stream here, but we also have a lot of face-to-face and in-person meetings, and I think it's so important to connect with whatever you're doing, whether it's in business or in your personal life. It's always great to have people that you could connect with that'll keep you accountable, that'll keep you in check, that are there to encourage and motivate you, because there's so much in life that will just beat you down if you let it, and the end result is always that you just don't accomplish your dreams. The people who are doing the beating down, they're just on their way. But while you guys get started with your wins, I'm actually going to share this thought that I had. I was thinking about doing like an entire call on it, but I didn't think it needed that much time. But I was thinking about the idea, like my mom has a story of a friend who was working in a company with another friend, and both of them were working there. I think, like, say friend A, call him Bill, brought friend B in, call him Tom, and Tom was always complaining about the business, to the point where Bill started to feel super down and disliking the company, disliking the business, disliking the job. He was miserable. He started to get into altercations with upper level management, and it started to have friction between Bill and management, to the point where Bill got so frustrated he left the job. Tom, on the other hand, who was doing all the initial complaining, stayed on and ended up retiring with the package and all these benefits and stuff. And this is a story that my mom told us since we were little, and it sort of resonated with me. Not sort of, it really had a big impact on me. And it's always stayed in the back of my mind because a lot of times I'll hear people, complaining and nitpicking and just kind of stuck in that cycle of negativity. And always in the back of my head I remember this story, and I something happened the other day. I was talking to someone else and I remembered this story, and it's like, oh my gosh, I have to share it with you guys because it's one of the things that we kind of talk about on these calls, just watching your circle of influence, because those are the things that affect your performance. You don't want to be like I've mixed up the names now. You don't want to be like the first person who lets the other person's negative mindset throw him off course to the point where he leaves all of those benefits and all of those assets, and the other person who was doing all the complaining initially ends up being the one who stays around and keeps all the good stuff. So be the person who tunes that stuff out and just continues to do what you have to do, because we all have dreams and goals that we need to accomplish. We don't need that negative Nancy stuff. So I just wanted to share that with you guys really quick. I didn't think we needed to do a live chat on it, but do you guys ever have you ever encountered a situation like that? Have any of you seen that happen in either in your work or in your personal life, or are any of you experiencing that now? It would be interesting to see. I hope that someone could kind of shine some light on a situation that they're in to avoid avoid having like that type of feedback mess up their mindset. So we've got some more people coming on to the live chat. Let me know what your thoughts are on that initial thought. But while you guys are doing that, let me dive in and first of all get my do not disturb on so that our chat isn't interrupted. You guys have my 100% concentration here. Hi, Miss Tawana, Miss Paula, excuse me, welcome. Miss Olga, Lisa, Chris, Anitra, Jill, Kathleen, Diane, thank you guys all for joining me in this live stream. And I know you guys have wins, because I'm seeing some names in here that I was talking to earlier this week who are celebrating increased orders, new customers, Fab 400. So guys, let's get going with your wins for the week. And I'll do mine. Okay, so for me, my win for the week is actually that I have had, I have a blog, bossladies.com, and I don't get to update it as much as I would like, but there's this one blog post that I've been working on for a while, in response to a lot of the feedback that I was getting from my team. We've been having a lot of new reps come onto the team, and I felt like, I guess because it's been a couple people joining all at once, I was feeling like I got all these similar questions back to back, and it dawned on me that there needed to be some clarification, because I was kind of explaining the same things over and over again, and I didn't want to explain one idea to one person and not to another. So I said, you should really get working on this blog post, put something together that gives new representatives like a step-by-step guide to placing their first order, and some of the tips that you share with your representatives, so that it won't be a situation where you share a tidbit with one rep and then you forget to share the same tidbit with someone else. I wanted everyone to have the same information. So I started working on this blog post last month, but full transparency here, right? Started working on this blog post last month, and I started it, and then something happened and I got pulled off, and I went back and I was editing and tweaking, and I just kept getting pulled away from it, and I never completed it. And I was actually talking to Lisa this week, and I was like, you know what? I've been working on this post. I am just going to go ahead and put it out there, and I can go back and add and edit or create a follow-up post later on if I felt like there was any information that I was missing. But sometimes we just need that kick in the seat of our pants to just say, just put it out there, whatever you have now. That's why, as much as I hate deadlines, I like deadlines, because it kind of forces you to say, okay, this is the end point. Whatever I have here, it's going to be what it is, and that's just going to go out. So my win for the week is that I finished that post, and I posted, I'll post the link here on the page, but I just I posted it yesterday, and I was sharing because I thought maybe if I'm having new representatives come across this problem on my team, I figured there were others that were having similar problems or similar questions, and I wanted to help with that. So I hope that that post helps, and I have some other posts that I wanted to share, other things. I want to try to just compile all my thoughts in my post so that I can give everyone the same information, and so that you guys who may not have an upline or who may not be in contact with your upline can still benefit, because I know what that's like. I've been there too. So let's see what we have here. So Ms. Deborah says she's had other reps that would do that, and no matter what she said positive, they would be negative. So she's not working with them anymore. She's trying to be around positive thoughts. I hear you, Deborah. Like, sometimes you just need to cut out the negativity. And even in these chats, I've shared with you guys that I've had to pull back from being around certain people because I saw it affecting my outlook. And it's like your life becomes a black and white movie. There's just this turn, like in The Wizard of Oz, where it turns from like gray to color and then color to gray. It's sort of like a shift like that happens. But you're right, Deborah. Sometimes you just need to back away. But also, I think, like yesterday, I was talking to a friend, and she was saying sometimes people need that everyone is venting to, and it does affect you, your demeanor, your mindset, and everything. But there was this article that I read a few years ago, and I posted it on my page about, and you could probably Google it and find it. But it was saying that a lot of times when we vent to we feel like venting helps us solve the problem or helps us feel better, but neuroscientists had found that venting doesn't. It just shortens. It's like a well-beaten path. The more you walk on that route, the more the grass disappears and it becomes like hardened ground, and it just solidifies that type of mindset. So we have to be careful when we're venting to each other, because you don't want to get in a loop where you're just focusing on negativity and cycling back on negative things, because it becomes easier for you to think negatively if you're in that type of mindset. So one of the things that I do on my team, in maybe 3 years ago now, we noticed that we were getting in this pattern where we would come to a meeting and that was like a brain dump. Everybody was just piling on the problems and the negativity, and it was like your head was underwater and you couldn't see any way out, because we were all just talking about negative things and things that weren't working, but we weren't discussing action steps and solutions, and we weren't brainstorming positive ideas. So what we started to do, what I did at a meeting was I said, okay, I understand everybody might have an issue or might have questions, and that's totally fine. We get that. In order to overcome those issues, we do need to talk about them. But the key was to do it in a manner that encouraged discussion and planning of action steps. So it wasn't just like vomit of all the bad things and, no way to think of better ideas. So we would have one person at a time put out an idea, and then we would discuss solutions to that problem. So the other representatives, Anitra, Lisa, I think Evie was on the team at the time. Then you would voice an issue or a problem, and then everyone else would try to come up with solutions. So we were physically like going against the grain to make our minds change gears and switch from thinking in a negative mindset to a positive mindset. So I don't know, Deborah, maybe that might help for you and your team to have a meeting where you put a certain time together and you say, okay, we're going to take turns. Everybody shares one thing that they're going through that they need help with, and the rest of the group will, try to come up with ideas. And I found it became like a bonding time, because, like I said, people do have problems that they do want to talk about and find issues to, but other representatives who felt like they didn't have anything to contribute found that if they had the same problem, maybe they overcame it. But, people like to help. So it was encouraging for them, especially as new reps, to be able to share something that they were going through. And for everyone to take a turn, it was nice to, for everyone to be able to share and for everyone to be able to pitch in. So the overall atmosphere after we spoke was, really quite positive. So So Miss Anitra says, in and out. Wait, clarify. Kathleen says she can't hear anything. But I see conversation, so I think you guys are hearing. Can I get a thumbs up if you guys are hearing me okay? A thumbs up or something, so I just know that I'm not talking to myself here. I'm by myself, but I don't want to talk to myself. So let me see if you guys are hearing. Let me just give that a second. I see responses. Okay, all right, so you guys can hear. Okay, great. Kathleen, maybe we need to turn up the volume. I'll try and talk louder if that's gonna be helpful. All right, so Ms. Deborah says her win of the week was that she's stepping out of the box and talking to people about the Avon opportunity. That's great. Congratulations, Ms. Deborah. I think that's the hardest thing that we all we go through, especially getting started. A lot of us are shy, myself included, so it takes like a lot of effort and energy to approach people, and it can be scary. But I love that you're just trying to overcome that and get out of the box, Deborah. So kudos to you. Hey, Miss Jessica. Miss Janet, hey. I saw a really great video by you the other day, Miss Janet. Congratulations. Milagros can hear okay, Janet can hear okay, and Lisa can hear great. Perfect. Okay, so the majority of us can hear. Kathleen can hear now. Great. Okay, maybe it's a volume issue, but we're good. So, all right, so let's continue. Please continue with your wins for the week. Lisa, I'm going to put you on blast. I know you have some wins, so share. Whoever else has any wins for the week, share them in the chat box below so that this isn't a one-way conversation. We're all here to celebrate with each other. And also, if you have questions, a lot of times after I post the videos, I get a lot of questions in the chat box in the side or on the YouTube channel. Don't be afraid to ask questions during the call. It's not a one-way lecture. I do want you guys to post your questions, and even if it's not something that's related to this specific call or the topic that we're talking about at the moment, at least if you post it, others can get on there and answer, or I can answer at the end of the chat, or if anything, I could do another follow-up video later on just to fill in the gaps and make sure, because this live stream isn't so that I could practice or strengthen my vocal cords. It's for all of us to learn from each other, to grow, to share ideas, and kind of increase the community that we're feeling. So definitely don't be afraid to share your ideas. And of course, as always, please share your wins for the week, and really make the effort, like again, with the negative mindset, make the effort to change gears and focus on finding at least one win for the week. I've shared with you guys, I have I don't like to call it journal or diary, it's my daily planner, but in the beginning and end of each day, I list things that I'm thankful for, and sometimes it's a struggle. Jessica Z and I were talking about it a couple months ago. Sometimes it's a struggle to acknowledge the wins, but I find that the more you do it, the easier it becomes, and the more you start to recognize the small things that you take for granted, which is also a big benefit of just acknowledging all the things that you find in your life and in your business that you're doing that's getting you closer and closer to your goals. We're going to talk a little bit today about our 90-day plans, as you saw in the description of tonight's chat. So we're going to get some more into that type of mindset of goal setting and your wins and the things that you're grateful for, and why it's important to do that. So let me go back now. If you haven't already, type one thing that you're excited about that you accomplished this week, one thing that you want to celebrate as a win, or even one thing that you're thankful for that you want to just kind of give a shout out to the group. So let's see what we have here. Jessica M says her win for the week is that she received 5 new customers on the spot, and she's close to getting the hotel for RepFest. Awesome. Yes, disclaimer, side note, RepFest, Avon Conference, Nashville, Tennessee, in August. You want to be there. If you're a new rep, you get $99 registration. take advantage of it because it's $129 for the rest of us, unless you registered early, which I did because every dollar counts and I was trying to save, girl. Uh, so Jessica, hopefully I will be seeing you in Tennessee this August for RepFest, and I hope to see a lot more of you at RepFest, because if you think these little live streams are cool that all of us representatives do, wait till you're like physically in the presence of all of that energy. I think we're almost at 6,000 representatives. We're a little short, like 100 off. But I mean, that's a lot of representatives, a lot of business professionals, a lot of women in business, and a few good men who are working their business that are trying to solve problems and brainstorm ideas. You want to be a part of that, so get to RepFest. So congratulations to Jessica. She's working on earning her free hotel, free invitation to a little party shindig that we're having to celebrate Wild Country. So hopefully, Jess, we'll all get to be a part of that. So congrats to you. Janet says her win for the week is that she was one of the few people who made good sales at a vendor show. She had a game at her table that people flocked to play to win. I love that. Now, I did see that picture on your page, and I was like, wow, that's cute and an adorable idea. I love that. Playing games at the events always attracts people. Let's see. Lisa says she made packets for friends, co-workers of her husband and family, and shared her excitement as a new rep this month. Lisa is she's like a LOA 0. She hasn't even been with Avon for a full month yet. She's just getting started, and she's off to an amazing start. So congratulations, Lisa, on making your sample pack. She's working her business, and I can tell you her sales are off the hook. She's doing very well with her sample pack. So it works, guys. Malagra says one of her goal leaders who is not actively working the business is back, woohoo, and working on her millions. She is one of her bronze executive leaders in the past, and she's working together. I have to expand. And taking small, consistent steps. Also, congratulations, Miss Malagros, and that's kind of key, those small, consistent steps towards your goals, guys. So take that as some encouragement. If you were working the business and maybe you had a minor setback, I always say minor setbacks for major come-ups. Even if you kind of fell behind or, took a break from your dreams and goals, it doesn't mean it's too late to achieve them. Get back in the game and start working towards them. Work towards your millions, as Malagro says. Jessica says, yes, we need new pictures, definitely. New RepFest pictures. And Malaga says, party, yeah. I'm excited about those parties. And Avon always throws down. So I know there's going to be like a special party for the Wild Country anniversary. But Avon also has, a bunch of other parties as well. So those are going to be fun. Deborah says, wow, okay. Deborah says she's thankful for being cancer-free for 5 years. Plus, she received second in the district for sales increase. Hold on. Okay. Full on bravo for you, Miss Deborah. Wow. That is, wow. Kudos to you. Congratulations, Miss Deborah. That is something you definitely worth celebrating. 5 years. Congratulations. Okay, I'm gonna come back to that. I've been thinking about doing the Avon breast cancer walk this year, and I've been kind of just thinking, okay, maybe I'll just do the donation and not really do the walk. But this week alone, I kept hearing stories from survivors and people who are still going through it and their families. And I'm just like, when you feel you want to do something but you're helpless, you can't do anything about it. I think, Miss Deborah, that I am going to do that walk this year. I heard Molly, Rebecca, a couple of ladies did the walk, I think last week or the week before, and just watching their videos and hearing their encouragement, I was like, yeah, that sounds like something I would want to do. And I was kind of asking around, and people were like, we are city girls, we do not camp. And I got nervous and I kind of chickened out, but you know what, I do want to do that walk, and I think I am going to do that walk. So hopefully we can all be celebrating more cancer-free years for more people out there, right, Miss Deborah? All right, so okay, I see a party in the chat box. Okay, so Lisa says, oh, okay. Lisa says she would do the walk with us. Okay, so I will get some information going. Looks like we have a team that is about to be forming here on this New York City walk. Great. Ah, and Jessica Stover is going to be doing the walk as well. So Milagros says we can camp. Milagros, you camp. You really camp. I see the videos of you guys out there. I'm just like, city girl. I don't know if I could do all that. But I do want to visit Chucky. We have a dinner date. All right, guys. So let's get started with our chat for the evening. So what I want to talk to you guys about today was your 90-day plans, because I actually just did my 90-day plan with my district manager this weekend, and I wanted to share the importance of the 90-day plans. I open up my calendar. I try to send reminders to my team every 3 months to schedule with me, if they want to, a 90-day plan. And I've always, not always, but within the last couple of, I guess I could say years, really like months, but it's been over a year, so years, I guess. I've been working on 90-day plans. I've been working on calendaring, and for me, 90-day plans have become an important part of my training system, my personal development system, and my achieving my goals system. So I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about why 90-day plans are important, and how you can use them to help your business. So a lot of you realize that already Avon has the Kickstart bonus for new representatives, so that you can earn a couple of bonuses within your first 90 days. So first and foremost, right there's like already a 90-day system in place. And the 90-day plans are important, especially for new representatives, because if you look at a lot of companies, a lot of them have like a probation period when you first start working. You get in, you start learning the systems, you connect with others, you kind of learn the job. And a lot of businesses have that 90-day probation time where you're learning. A lot of times, sometimes you're partnered with another person who has experience to kind of work with them. You have someone as a mentor in the company, and after those 90 days, they evaluate you to see if you're a good fit for the company, if the company is a good fit for you, what your progress has been, how you've been working, what you've been struggling with, what areas need improvement, and what your strengths are. And it's a great way for you to get established as you're getting comfortable into your new job or your new role. So even PTAs or community activities, volunteer activities, usually there's some overlap between like the old board moving out and the new board moving in. And 90 days, I found a lot of companies keep that as 90 days because they feel like 90 days is a good period. It's not too long, it's not too short, but it's a good period to transition and have some overlap. So as I was researching 90 days and 90-day plans and 90-day goal setting, I started to see that a lot of companies, a lot of businesses, and there are just a lot of organizations that use this 90-day plan, 90-day goal setting challenge, 90-day whatever, as a marker. Personally, I think it's great because 90 days is about 3 months. It's easy to measure. Yeah, some months have 29 days, some have 31, whatever, but overall 90 days is a good way for you to track. For us makeup ladies, 90 days also correlates with other things, like you throw out your toothbrush and your mascara, your little eye makeup things every 3 months, right? So it's the same 90 days. So for me, I've synced up a lot of my life on this 90-day schedule because there's not a lot of space up here for me to remember stuff. So I try to make things as easy as possible. Like, what's this Facebook guy? I'm live streaming on Facebook and I can't remember his name. Zuckerberg. They always talk about how he has the same t-shirt and jeans that he wears because he doesn't want to get up every morning and worry about what he's going to wear. It's one less thing on his plate. So it's the same thing with me. I like 90 days and I like a 3-month schedule because it reminds me, hey Holly, it reminds me that I have to do things. I know I'm changing my toothbrush. I know I'm throwing out some of my eye makeup. I know it's time for me to review my progress towards my goals. So by syncing those things up, I've just freed up a lot of mental space by just keeping things on a calendar. But in addition to those things, the 90-day plan has real importance. And I don't know if you are using the 90-day plans in your business. I don't know if you're regularly tracking your goals. First and foremost, let me back up and rewind. I hope by now you guys have goals. We've been doing these chats for a while, and even if you're new, set some goals for yourself. You should have some goals in your business. You should think about your why, think about your goals, and by when and how you want to achieve them. If you haven't yet, go back to some of my earlier videos. I think in December of last year, we were talking about setting SMART goals. There's entire series on goal setting here that we've done in my training, so in our live streams here. So check out the Team trainings, look into goal setting and setting goals, because they are important towards your success. And if you want to succeed, be it in this business or in life, it is really important to have goals. A lot of, and again, you're going to go back and watch those videos, but a lot of people have shown that by writing down your goal, by doing dream boards, by sharing your goals with others, by just having goals, you're more likely to succeed. So I always say, not having a goal is like just getting in the car without a map or an idea of where you're going and just driving. You're just spinning your wheels. So don't be the person just in the car driving around. Gas is too expensive in this economy for that. You really want to have a goal, a destination, somewhere that you're reaching forward to getting. So the 90-day goals are important, and tonight I'm going to share 3 reasons why, and some backup information. And I'm a visual learner, so I'll be painting some pictures for you so that you could get in the mindset of doing the 90-day plans for yourself. So first and foremost, the way I like to look at 90-day plans is course correction. I shared this in a video a while back, and I had planned to have props and everything, but all my architectural tools are in a box somewhere, and I didn't feel like taking it out. So what I'm going to use instead is apparently an Avon jewelry box. Yeah? Okay. So when we're thinking about course correction, you want to think about a triangle. No, this is not a product that I'm going to be selling to a customer. This one is mine, so I can demolish the box. So when you think about course correction, think about ships and planes. There was a speech, I believe it was Darren Hardy, I mentioned it last week. The idea was, when you're going long distances, you really have to be mindful of the path that you're taking, because any type of divergence from your course can really mean that you'll be really off course way down the line. So I wanted to think of, in my mind, I picture a triangle, a compass, something with an angle. When you start off at the beginning, like here, the distance between this point here and this point here are relatively small. It's not that big of a deal. But if your goal is to get up here, and you diverge just a little bit up here, like the difference between here, like this angle here and this angle here at this point is so tiny. It's just a very small difference between these two sides at this point. But as you travel along this line, you're getting further and further away from your goal up here. So when you get out here, let's say at the end of 500 days, at the end of 6 months, at the end of a year, you're so far away from where you want to be. But if you correct your course here in the beginning, if you make a small adjustment at this point, it's easier for you to just, and get back on track. So, here at the end, to get back on track, if you let a whole year go by and you're trying to get back on your goal, you have to make an adjustment all the way like this. But if you're here at the beginning of just say 90 days, then you just need to make a quick, I'm off course, let me get back on course, and then continue towards your goal. So visually for myself, I always think of a little triangle. A 90-day plan for me is like correcting your course at the beginning of your journey. And to be honest with you, life happens. We all know. And I am speaking from experience, because I do have specifically one goal in particular that I just cannot get on track with. But it's easier to correct it in the beginning, and I think that's the problem I'm at now. I'm at the end, and I'm like, oh, I gotta do all of this, and I don't want to do it. But if you had just corrected that in the beginning, if you were just mindful of getting off track here, or even here, you know, the distance between here and here is a lot better than the distance between here and here. And that's what your 90-day plans are like. When you set your goals and you have a year or 5 years, a lot of us have goals that are long-term goals, which are great, because if your goals aren't scary to you, then it's not a big enough goal. They should be big, hairy goals that you can really push yourself to accomplish. So if you set out and you have a 5-year plan or a 10-year plan, it's hard to stay on track, and you don't want to wait until 5 or 10 years pass to adjust your course and see if you're on or off track. So by breaking up your goal into smaller segments, breaking down your 10-year plan into 5 years and 1 year and 90 days, then it'll be easier for you to correct yourself if you get off course. It'll help you stay focused, because like with this image, you want to keep your eye on the prize, right? But sometimes we diverge. But if you get in the habit of just readjusting your sight lines every once in a while, you're not going to veer off. But if you find yourself just going in the wrong direction, and you don't have those markers that, you know, give you that check to get back on course, you'll just keep going so far off course. So you want to keep the important things in focus. You want to be able to prioritize all that needs to be done. Our lives are busy, and you guys have things that I can't even imagine doing, that I don't know, my brain would explode if I had to handle some of the things that people have. But everybody has their own level of things that they're trying to balance. We all have our balls in the air that we're trying to juggle. And if you're trying to do everything at once, it gets hard. So it helps you to prioritize what needs to be done. So when you have your goals and you break them down into, first of all, again, they have to be SMART goals. SMART stands for specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-based. I did a video on that as well. But when you start, you have to have a goal. But if you have that goal, there are going to be other things out there. A lot of times it's even other people's problems and other people's issues that get in the way, that can easily keep you sidetracked. But again, if you have your goal and your eye on the prize, all of those things that everyone is pulling you left and right to focus on, you'll always be coming back to that goal, and it'll help you refocus yourself. So first and foremost, that your 90-day plans are like course correction. They help you get back on track. I've done my 90-day plans myself. I do have my goals that I track for myself every day. I rewrite my goals every day, and I have like 3 major goals that I'm working on. But at the end of every 90 days, and even sometimes at the end of a month, I'll look back and say, okay, well, how did you do this month? You know, did you stick to your goals? And a lot of time, like 95% of the time, the results that I see, I could directly correlate to action or lack of action. So when I do my plan, sometimes in the middle, in the month, at the end of a month, I might say, okay, how are you doing? Adjust it and get back on track, because you're going to have to look at this at the end of 90 days. But I've always done that for myself. But every once in a while, I partner with my district manager, and I have her review the goals with me. Because when you're doing it with a partner, they bring in another level of accountability and discipline. So doing it yourself is great, and that would be my number 2. Your 90-day plans force you to be organized, because knowing that you have to come back and do this at the end of 90 days, it'll put it in your mindset, okay, wait, no, I have to be on track, because I don't want to have 90 days pass by and I didn't do what I had to do. And when you involve someone else, an accountability partner, your upline, a team member, a district manager, a friend, family member, whoever, then having to report to that person that you didn't do anything for your goal is just like, you know, you just don't want to have to do it. You resent doing it, and that becomes another driving factor to help you to work towards your goals. So I do my 90-day plans for myself, and then I'll connect with my district manager and I'll ask her to sit and review with me. And a lot of times, just talking to another person, sometimes just hearing yourself say things out loud puts things in perspective. Sometimes it allows you to bounce ideas. I like to do my 90-day plans with someone who is familiar with what I'm going through, so that they could shine light on things that I didn't see before. And I'll be honest with you, this weekend when I was talking to my district manager, there was a number that I had just been writing down over and over again for a long time, and two things changed. That number changed, and I didn't update my values. My district manager was able to say, wait, no, that's not the number. And I was like, oh my gosh, I would have been aiming for the low number all this time. And when I got to the point where I would think I'm at my goal, I wouldn't be at my goal. So it was good that she was able to provide that course correction for me. That's why I think pilots fly with a co-pilot, so that they can, check each other's errors. The other thing was, when we were talking, as I was sharing my goals, I had new goals, but my overall goal, and I tell you guys, goals change, so don't feel like you have to stick with the same goal. But when I paid off all my loans and my debt last year, I didn't really, like, I have goals that I'm working towards, but I didn't really take the time to update my goals list from overcoming that debt. There wasn't a big honking load of pressure on me that the student loans provided that I wanted to get out of. My goal had shifted, and even though I rewrote my goals and I had new goals that I was working towards, I needed to revise my overall goal and account for the fact that I had, accomplished one of the steps in my goals list. I was celebrating it mentally, but it wasn't affecting my goals in the way I wanted to. I had just made new goals without realizing that I needed to acknowledge a specific milestone and then revisit my goals. So in talking to her, she was like, but you know what, you paid off your debt, and I remember the last time we talked, that was one of your humongous goals, but what's replacing that now? And I was like, I had so many little goals that I didn't rehash my gigantic goal. It just, kept going and plowing through. So sometimes talking to another person, and even talking to a person that is familiar with your goals, is even better, because they're able to rehash and kind of pick up where you left off and help you move forward, and put you in another mindset, because they're looking at your situation from the outside in. They can see things that you didn't see in a way that you weren't really looking at it. So it provides a pair of fresh eyes. So make sure as well that whoever you're doing your goal setting and your 90-day plans with is someone who you could trust, who's not going to derail you because they're envious of the fact that you have goals, because there are people out there like that too. So partner up with another person and let them encourage you to be more disciplined about your goals. Let them be your accountability partner to help you stay focused and on track. You're breaking down your goals in a manner that you can revisit in a 90-day plan. You want to make sure that your goals are what I call a list of action steps, not a wish list. So action steps are things like, they start with words like make, achieve, complete, or connect. For example, it's my goal to make $10,000 this year. It's my goal to connect with 10 new people per day. It's my goal to complete my trainings by such and such a time. These are action steps. They're like tasks, things you can check off. Whereas a wish list is, I want to be a millionaire. Yeah. I want to be rich. I want to be wealthy. I want to be happy. It's all lovely and whimsical and shiny and sparkly, but it's not like tangible action steps. And I find a lot of times these are our goals, but those aren't goals. That's a wish list. You want to make sure that you have action steps. Now, I see this stream is scrolling. So, okay. Janet says she loves capsule wardrobes. It does take off some of the stress on your mind. Janet is saying that her goal right now is advancing in her church paper, advertising in her church paper. It was a 6-month goal, and it's been big, hairy, and scary, but she started the goal some time ago, and it took a lot of sales and savings funds to get it going, to get the money she needed to advertise, because the commitment is for a year. But now that she has what she needs, she can advertise, and she's looking forward to more customers and maybe recruits. And she's asking about information about newspaper advertising. Hi, Francis and Miss Alice, Miss Renee. All right, so those are what you want your goals to look like. You want them to look like action steps, like a to-do list, things you can take out and put in your to-do list for the day, whereas as opposed to a wish list of just, whimsical, floaty, fairy dust type of dreams. It's important to dream big. Yeah, you want to be happy and you want to be successful, but how do you do that? What does happy and successful look like to you? What are the tools that you'll need in your arsenal? What are the things that you need to do to ensure that? Yeah, you want to be a millionaire. Okay, well, how are you going to do that? What are your plans? Are you investing? Are you working your sales? Are you multitasking, starting that side hustle? What are you going to do? And it kind of goes back to what we were talking about in a previous call about taking the things that you have control of and just being in charge of that, and wrapping your mind around the things that you have power over, as opposed to focusing on the things that other people control that you don't have any control over. When you say, okay, my action step towards becoming a millionaire is to start saving up X amount of money per month in an investment account or savings account or whatever, that's an action step that you're going to do. That's an action step that you can track. You can look in your bank account and say, okay, did I set aside the money that I wanted to set aside this month? Yes? No? Okay. Whereas I want to make $1 million, how do you track that? How are you keeping yourself accountable towards that? At the end of 90 days, how are you going to see how much closer you are to that goal without having your action steps? So your 90-day plan will help you to be organized and disciplined and real, because we can't keep up with these fairy dust ideas, because I found those are the ideas that we get a lot especially when we're first doing our dreams and goals. We start off with those ideas, but you really need to dig in and drill deeper to find the action steps that you need to get yourself towards those goals. Don't get stuck in that pattern of these whimsical ideas. Drill in, hunker down, and focus in on your action steps. Daily things that you could do, or monthly things that you're going to do to get yourself closer to that goal. And lastly, you want to break your goals down into bite-sized chunks. So your 90-day plan helps you to do that, because again, as we said, a 10-year, 5-year, 1-year plan can seem so huge and so far in the future that it's hard for you to track your progress, because it's just, so far off. You can't track your time. You can't wrap your mind around it. There's so much happening and going on in between to throw you off course. You need that check. So a 90-day plan will encourage you to take that 10-year plan and break it down into a year and break it down into 90-day slots. So you could say, okay, the first 90 days, I'm going to work on this. Second 90 days, I'm going to work on that. Third 90 days, I'm going to look at this. And then by the end of the year, I should have this. But you've got all these little checkpoints along the way. The way I was thinking about it is like, imagine someone who's cooking, a chef, and they've got 8 pots on the fire that need to be stirred. You only have 2 hands. You can only stir a certain amount of pots at one time. So you have to time yourself, especially with cooking, because things will burn. So you need to time yourself so that you can stir like the first 2 and then the next 2 and the next 2. So your 90-day plans are like that. Your first 90 days, you're going to stir these 2 pots. Next 90 days, you're going to stir this. Or maybe when you break it down, you say, okay, well, the first week of the month, I'm going to work on this. The second week of the month, I'm going to work on that. The third week of the month, I'm going to work on this. And you can rotate. Yeah, I know, we're partying here. But when you get the flow down, you will really be in the groove, and you could party because you've kind of found your niche, and you can, manage all of your pots and nothing's burning. We get into a problem when we have all these pots on the fire and we're like, okay, I'm going to stir this one. Oh, wait, that one's burning. Let me stir that. Oh, no, wait, that one. And then, there's no rhythm. There's no fluidity to your movement. You're just running around putting out fires, and that's what happens in our lives. We just start stirring all the pots randomly, and then the food burns and our life is a mess, right? But if you get a rhythm down where you're like, okay, you know, I'm doing these two, I've got those two, we've got a timer, everything's synchronized, things start to flow a lot more smoothly, and you find yourself putting out fewer fires. So by getting your plan down in 9-day chunks, you know which pots you're working on when. It'll make it easier for you. Side note, well, not side note, but to continue in the pot idea, you'd really want to try and get your goals, your 90-day goals down to not be any more than 5 to 7. Why? Because even if you synchronize and time the stirring of 30 pots, you're going to have some serious trouble. So you don't want to have 30 pots on the fire. 5, 7, you can manage. You don't want it to be so small that it's very rare that one single goal will help you towards your overall goal. It's usually a combination of other things that you need to do. For example, going back to the idea of saving up $1 million, for example, you can, Renee says, like a mixologist. Yes, we want to be mixologists of our lives. But you can't stir all the pots, you can't get off track, you can't manage more than your 5 to 7 goals, mentally, physically. If you're looking at the saving for a millionaire goal, yes, the idea there is to save, and that is one goal, but how are you going to accomplish that? Are you increasing your earnings? Are you budgeting? Are you saving a specific amount in the bank? There are other steps that you need to do. So there are different mini goals, I guess, to the medium goal that will help you get closer to your main overall goal. So try to keep your goals down to just a few. Don't give yourself more than 5 to 7 goals. You should be able to recite your goals. Like when I meet with my manager, she always laughs because she'll sit down and say, okay, you know, so what goals are you working on? And I'm like, boom, next. Because I've written them every day, I'm working on them every month, and I'm, you know, doing my 90-day plan on my own. I'm not, when we do our 90-day plans, it's not her coming to me with her layout for my goals. It's not her setting up action steps and an action plan for me. It's me creating a checklist and a checkpoint for myself. And it's what we talked about last week, you know, just being in charge of your own, being responsible for your own activities and your own, your success. It just doesn't rest on anyone's shoulders but your own. It comes down to that, but it's also because when it's my goal, it's important to me, it resonates with me, so it stays here. So when it comes time for us to talk about it, it's my goal, I know what it is, I'm bringing it forward for us to discuss. And it saves a ton of time in our training because we're not trying to figure out what my goals are going to be in this 90-day plan. We've got the goals laid out, and then we could spend our planning session talking about what I think I need to do to get towards it, and she'll help me refine. But again, you're, as leaders here, whether you're a sales leader or a leadership training, you know, recruiting type of leader, you're still leaders, and you're the leader of your life and your own business. So you want to be the one who's like, okay, these are my goals, these are the action steps that I have. And then when you meet with your accountability partner, you want to be able to just hash out those goals. You want to, for example, do the mining yourself and come up with your coal, your rough cut diamonds, and then when you sit down with your accountability partner, that's when you kind of clean them up and shave them down, file them, and polish them. So try not to set more than 5 to 7 goals, and use those goals that you've created to determine your daily goals. As I said, I write my goals down every day, but I also write down 3 target things that I want to accomplish for the day. I'll be honest with you, some days I finish them, some days I don't. But by having those goals for the day, it's another way to keep me on track, because I've got my 90-day goal. It's like a flow chart. It gets more and more specific. So I have my overall goal, I have my my target tasks, and I have my daily action steps that I'm doing that bring me closer to my goal. So I'm getting more and more specific, but I start with my overall goal, and I use that to define what I'm going to be doing for the day. And I found that at the end of a month, when I look back on my day, I keep a checklist. I do have a list of the things that I'm supposed to do for the days, and I check them off as I do them. When I go back and I look at that list, I try to be honest with myself at the end of the day. Sometimes I feel like lying to myself, but it doesn't help when I do, so I don't. But when I go back and I look at the list to see if I finish my checklist items for each day, sometimes I'm not finishing it. I'm like, well, you know what? That's why you weren't getting close to your goal. That's why you didn't hit your goal this month, or, you know, in these past 90 days, because you weren't doing the action steps. But without having those little action steps defined, I wouldn't be able to track that. So those are the three things that I wanted to share with you guys when it comes to your 90-day plans. First and foremost, set your goal as specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-based. Then your 90-day plans, keep in mind the 3 ways they help you. Firstly, as course correction. Secondly, to force your organization and your disciplinary skills. And third, to help you break down your goals into bite-sized chunks, into daily action steps, because that is how you get closer to your goal. So let's see what you guys are thinking about here in the chat box. Miss Janet says 5 to 7 goals. Wow, she could barely finish 3. Now keep in mind, Janet, these 5 to 7 goals are your goals for the 90 days. So each day you may have, maybe today your only goal is to get to the post office. Sometimes I have those days where I'm just like, I need to get these mailings out. This is my goal, numero uno. Some days you might just have one major goal. Like some of you shared earlier, your goal was to get out and talk to 5 people. Maybe that's your goal that you're going to work on today. Finding 5 new customers, talking to 5 new people, doing follow-up or training with 1 new representative, whatever it is. You might have one goal, but your overall 90-day goal might be 5 to 7. You could have, Janet, maybe 3 overall goals. Maybe your goal is to, I don't know, increase your customer base, increase your team, and I don't know, develop yourself to the next level. So your action steps for the day or for the month, like you said, you've got one. Your first action step for this batch of 90 days was to save up enough to get yourself on to the church bulletin board. So that's one goal that's checked off. But it's an action step that was in line with your overall goal. Getting yourself on the bulletin board doesn't necessarily equate to more customers. It's what, you know, but it was one step closer to getting more customers. I'm pretty sure there are other things that you're doing to increase your customer base. So, you know, step number 1 might be to advertise on the bulletin board. Step number 2 might be to order more brochures. And step number 3 might be to schedule 2 parties for the month, for each month. So that's, you know, one step towards your overall goal. So don't feel like you have to sit down and come up with, you know, 7 goals. Just focus on what your overall goal is and then just try to break that down. And that will determine your action steps. It's like a flow chart. You have a main plan, and then that's broken down into it's broken down into steps, and then each step is broken down further into steps. And just break it down as far as you can into those action steps we talked about, the things that start with make, achieve, complete, connect, you know, the do stuff. And then that will help make sure you get to your overall goal. And as we said with SMART goals, they're time-based and relevant and specific. So the time that you have, if you're realistic about your time, the time that you set will also determine how many goals you have for that time frame. Janice says, you're very welcome. So I think that's it. Does anyone have any questions about what we talked about so far? As I said, I like to do my 90-day plans every 3 months. I should be doing it next month. I usually do February, March, the 3rd, 3, 6, 9, and 12. So March, June, September, and December is when I usually do mine. But I did mine early this month because I really wanted to allocate more time to working them out with my team, and I want them to also feel comfortable getting on that schedule. And since I was doing my 90-day plan this month with this time around with my district manager. We just had the time and we were just like, you know what, let's just do this. So I did mine a little bit earlier, but I usually try to just do it on all the threes so that I know when it's due and that I have to do it. And I usually do it by myself, with myself, and then, do a big one with my manager when I can. So I wanted to just open up next month for my team so that we can do our plans together and I could work with them and, just have a really free schedule. And I also wanted to prepare myself because I wanted to know what my goals are when I reach out to my team. So, we have overall team goals that we should be setting for our team. So when I reach out and connect with my team, I want to be able to pass along those goals. And I wanted to have like a mindset, a train of thought, a goal, an idea that I was sharing with them so that we can all be on the same page. So Janet asked if we've heard of the bullet journal for a 90-day plan. I have not heard of that. I use my regular journal and it's like a calendar, so I know at the end of every 3 months there's going to be a plan. But if that's something that you like or that you've used, give it a shot, check it out, see if it works for you. What else do we have here? All right, so no more questions. It looks like you guys are all good on the 90-day plan. So I kind of wanted to end this call with a challenge. I've never done that before, but I want to challenge you guys to take a 90-day challenge, to set some goals for yourself just for these 90 days. What are your goals? What are the goals that you want to accomplish at the end of the upcoming 90 days? And what are your action steps that you're going to take each day to get yourself closer to that overall goal at the end of 90 days? And I would like for us to get back here. What is that going to be? 9/6. Wow, that's going to be September. That's going to be, yeah, that's going to be a while. But I would love to come back at the end of 90 days and just kind of talk with you guys and see what you guys have accomplished, what your struggles were, because there will be struggles. I've been doing this for a while and I still have struggles, but how you're tracking overall. And I would like for us to sort of be accountable to each other. So when we do our wins for the week, to kind of expand this for this starter period, because I know some of you, this will be the first time that you're doing a 90-day challenge, but maybe at the end of each month to have some time where we talk about how we're progressing towards our 90-day goals. And for those of you who are new representatives who are just starting, this will also fall in line with your Kickstart plan. So it's good now because we'll have a group of us who are all tracking towards something. Your goal might be to accomplish your Kickstart goal, but we all have goals that we'll be working on. But as a new rep, it'll be nice for you to kind of be in the atmosphere of setting your goals, setting your plans, and tracking towards your goal. And especially since you're new and you're still kind of learning the ropes and figuring things out, the Kickstart goal is a really, really nice way for you to just sort of wrap your mind around getting used to increasing your sales gradually and partnering sales increase with team building. So you're going to be working on 2 of the skills that you'll need to build yourself into a successful business person. So it'll be really great for those of you who are new. So I hope you guys will love a challenge and be encouraged to try this out and see how it goes and how it will be for the end of 90 days. And I'm going to ask you guys to keep me accountable as well so that we can all work towards celebrating achievement of our 90-day plans at the end of 90 days. So I hope you guys will do this challenge with me, or continue it if you've done 90-day plans before, and just partner up with us to hold each other accountable in our tracking for this 90-day challenge. So I also have to start exercising now because apparently I'm going to be walking. But that will be one of the goals that I add. So I'm looking forward to hearing from you guys next week, hearing how you're tracking towards your weekly goals and the successes that you're going to be celebrating when we come back next week, same time, same place, 8 p.m. here on my wall. So have a great night, guys, and I'll see you next week.